understanding of chemistry, learning how to have correct lab technique, and just being able to work in a lab efficiently and safely.
Put into action like what we learned in chemistry lecture.
It entails a lot of work. It's not that difficult if you know what's going on, like in lecture and whatnot, because it coincides pretty well. And I just think the lab instructor wants you to get practice in the lab, applying like whatever you learn in lecture.
Basically, just a general understanding of chemistry at like a molecular level, understanding of acids, bases, just simple chemistry stuff.
Before, you should really write down the procedure in your lab, the carbon sheet booklet, because it helps the lab go by faster and you get out quicker.
For lab, definitely read the procedure and go over the internet, background information and whatnot. During the lab, make sure you're very careful, and if you have any questions, ask your TA. And the best thing to do after lab is to do the lab report as soon as possible. That way you don't wait till like a week later and you've forgotten what's going on and then you try to write a lab report.
Most definitely reading the pre-labs like on the website that we have.
I loved my TA. He helped me so much. Like, if I ever had questions and came to ask him, he would always help me, like, willingly.
Some TAs would send out, like, emails or PowerPoints or something of how to, like, in helping do the calculations, write out the full lab report. And I think that would be the most helpful because that's always the toughest thing, trying to...
She gave us our exact formulas that we were and told us what to plug in. And clever calculations. Yes. I've heard horror stories about some TAs who just say you go. And they don't know what to do.
I guess like applying like stuff we learned in class to our lab, basically kind of reinforcing what we learned.
That he was really good at communicating on the students' level, so he treated us well, just talk to us as human beings.
I don't know. I didn't go to her outside of class ever.
Okay, and why would you not go to her outside of class?
I didn't have any questions. I don't know.
Well, I really didn't go to her outside of class, but I did email her a couple times and she gave me a prompt response. So that was a help.
High performance study.
I didn't go to her office hours, but I emailed her like probably a couple times and she emailed me back and it was helpful.
Go in after in his office hours, like he can just explain it and let you know what you're actually doing in each lab, rather than just like doing titrations and not understanding.
I guess she helps convey to us what the lab instructor wanted us to get out of it, because it's more like a one-on-one experience, so we could, I guess, talk to her more freely, and she was younger, so that helps, I guess.
Good balance of, he is a kid, so he could connect with the students, but he also knew how to be a teacher and have that standing in his class.
Just to be open to helping the students be able to understand what they're doing. If they have questions, be able to answer their questions or help them with the lab and like the procedure or any explanations that are unclear.
Speak loudly. My TA this semester has done a really good job at leading you to the answer, but not exactly giving it to you.
Don't get pushed around, and don't let kids, weasel their way into points. There are a lot of pre-med kids who love to.
I think from the very beginning, even before lab starts, they should probably give us an idea of what exactly is going to happen. I feel like I was kind of pushed into this whole lab thing.
Some of us don't like what we're doing as much as they may be interested in it, and that we're just trying to get through it the same, and kind of understand that, we're not going to come in with, smiles on our faces, enthusiasm.
Be prepared for any possibility, especially accidents inside the lab, and if you're not prepared, then you shouldn't be a TA.
Prepare to have an accident.
Well, be prepared for anything in case accident might happen.
Be prepared for every lab. Make sure that they understand everything that's going on. If they're new to the course, they may not initially, so they just need to do all the background reading so that they can help us to
Be very patient with your students because a lot of us didn't have very much chemistry in high school, and a lot of other kids, had, like I know people who did most all these labs. So I would say just be patient with everybody because you don't know what different people's experiences are coming into it.
Most definitely to be patient and don't act like you're frustrated whenever somebody asks you a question.
That even though he may ask us, do you have any questions, make sure that he points out stuff that may potentially not be covered.
Don't be like that TA who's walking around telling kids what to do and just acting like he's the general of an army instead of a TA. Or trying to be intimidating, I think, is the key because it's really tough. Are you trying to? We want to respect you, but at the same time, we don't want to feel like you don't respect us. It's just show respect, and you'll get respect.
It would help me if you read the procedure beforehand and you weren't clear exactly what to do, or if it the instructions change. If she would outline it on the board and tell you oh, you have to do this and don't do this, then that helps a lot.
Clear expectations and guidance. Yes, we need lots of guidance. The main thing is I came into Chem Lab and I really didn't know what I was doing.
Basically, you'll have a variety of students in there, people that will know a lot about the lab or have an understanding of chemistry, and others who will not. So basically, just take each student on at the level they're at and work with them.
I think kind of passing on that overall understanding of what's going on is probably the most important thing in TA.
Chem lab especially is going to be very confusing, especially if you haven't done it in high school. Like me, I hadn't. And so, patience and always be helpful. Because even if it's a stupid question, don't tell them it's stupid. It'll make them feel better.